My name is Christina, and today we are going to be doing a slow flow vinyasa practice focused on cultivating a mind and body connection. Oftentimes, stress is held in the physical body, specifically in the neck and shoulder region. So, we are going to be working through a series of asanas designed to identify any tension that is held within the body and release it. I would recommend having a couple of blocks close by, and when you are ready, we can go ahead and meet in an easy seated position on the mat. It might help to sit up on a block if that is more comfortable for you. I will give you a few seconds to get settled here, and then when you're ready, we will meet with palms facing up, ready to receive. We're going to start by making our first grounding connection to our breath. That is going to be a slow and steady breath in and out through the nose. So inhale, exhale. With every inhale, do a quick scan of your body and see if there's a little bit of tension that can be released. We're going to begin integrating some movements. So let's start with some half moon circles with our neck. So roll your head from one side to the other and back. And if at any point you feel an area that needs a little bit more love and attention, feel free to pause there and take a few breaths. At any point, I invite you to flutter the eyes closed or soften the gaze to really draw your awareness internally. Excellent. On your next inhale, your head can come up to center. We're going to be moving into some shoulder rolls. So plant both fingertips on the top of your shoulders and begin to rotate your elbows forward, making big circles with your elbows. Do not lose sight of that slow and easy breath that we found at the beginning of the practice. Excellent. Now let's reverse those circles. On your next exhale, let it all go. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, we're going to move into this cactus arm shape. So really focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together. Arms can come out to your side, expanding through the chest and the front body. Take a second to breathe here. On your next inhale, arms can cross in front of you. Either give yourself a big hug or move into eagle arms, whichever is more accessible for you. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, big hug or eagle arms up. Inhale to cactus those arms one more time. Exhale, let it all go. Great job, everybody. Maybe roll out your neck here, find any little organic movements that can help. And then when you're ready, inhale, raise those arms up. Go ahead and interlace the fingers, point your palms up to the sky. We're going to find a little bit of a side body stretch. So inhale, reach into the fingertips. Exhale, hinge over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back up to center. This time we're going to do a little bit of a neck stretch. So with your right arm, let your palm float about 6 inches off the mat. Left hand can come to the top of your head. And very, very gently pull your head down so that your ear can meet your shoulders. Don't use a lot of pressure. Maybe 2 pounds of pressure is all that you need. Take a moment to find your breath again. Excellent. Inhale, both arms up again, switching sides. Left palm comes to hover, right palm to the top of the head. Bring your ear to your shoulder. Inhale, rise all the way up. One more time. Let's find a little twist. So right arm comes to left knee, left palm behind you. Find a little twist. Really think about wringing your spine out here. And with every inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine just a little bit more. And with your exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. And if you can't, that's totally fine too. Great work. Inhale to unwind, arms back up. Exhale, let's twist to the other side. So left palm to right knee, right palm behind you. Find that little twist. Inhale, rise back up to center. And with a big audible exhale, let it all go. Let's just take a quick second to scan the body. Roll your neck around a bit, shrug those shoulders. Notice any changes that have happened within your physical body up until this point. And then when you're ready, we can meet in a tabletop position. Set the block aside. Tabletop is your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, fingertips wide, knees directly underneath your hips. You can either tuck the toes for more stability or leave the feet rested on the mat. We're going to find a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So inhale to drop the belly. Exhale, arch the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch the spine. At your own rhythm. Now let's incorporate a little bit more movement in this cat-cow, I invite you to start playing around with your hips and shoulders, moving in whatever way feels good to you. Maybe rotate the hips in circles one way or another. Shoulders can come from side to side. Really explore in your body. And while you're doing this, try to maintain that connection with your breath. Great work. Let's come up to a more neutral spine. We're going to move into thread the needles. So shift your weight onto your left palm. Right palm can come up to face the sky, and very carefully thread the needle through and bring your right shoulder down to the mat. If this is too intense for you, feel free to use a block to help decrease the intensity. Excellent. Inhale to rise back up to tabletop. And switching sides. Shift your weight onto your right palm. Left palm comes up to the sky. Thread the needle. Shoulder comes down to the mat. Don't forget to find that breath. Excellent. Inhale to unwind. Come back up to a neutral tabletop. Let's find a little bit of a forearm stretch. So rotate both palms so that your fingertips are facing the back end of the mat. I'm at about at a 45-degree angle, but you might be able to go more or less. Really just find the right amount of intensity for your body. And once you've found that, go ahead and settle in and breathe for a moment or two. And then you might find that you can increase the sensation by rocking backwards. This one should feel especially yummy if you are like me and you spend a lot of time on a computer. Inhale to bring the spine back up to neutral. Take a second, shake out those wrists. And then when you're ready, plant your palms, spread those fingertips wide, tuck the toes under, peel your tailbone up to the sky. Let's find our first downward facing dog of the morning. Take a second to orient yourself in this dog. I actually like to take my feet a little bit wider on the mat. I find that helps accommodate my body a little bit more. Um, Maybe also play with putting a little bit of a micro bend in the knees. That can help you elongate through your shoulders and find a little bit more rotation in the front of your arms. And when you're ready, take a moment to pedal out those feet. All right. Float the gaze forward for balance, and let's take some baby steps, as many as you need to meet at the front of the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Let's take a second to find our positioning. That can either be feet hips width distance apart or send them a little bit wider, whichever is more comfortable for you. Inhale, arms come all the way up overhead. Exhale, release and fold. We're going to take a second to hang out here in this ragdoll fold for a little bit, focusing on elongating the back body and the neck. Feel free to clasp opposite arms and take a moment to regain your breath. Excellent. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way back down. Grasp opposite arms. This time, put the more unusual arm on top. And we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths. So that is in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Last one. Great work. You can go ahead and let go of the hold of your arms, and then we'll come up to a standing position very slowly. Take your time getting there, one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll meet in this mountain pose. Let's take a second to ground in all 4 corners of the foot. Maybe if your stance was a little bit widened, bring them a little bit closer together. Lift the toes so that you can have all corners of your feet on the mat, and plant the toes. And then we're going to take a large step back with our right leg, and we're going to find Warrior One. Warrior One has your foot at a 45-degree angle, facing the top, toes facing the top corner of the mat. Front knee is stacked over front ankle, arms up overhead, rise up strong. Take a moment to find your breath here. And when we're ready, we're going to rotate at the chest, open up, Warrior Two. Gaze can flow over your front fingertips. Straighten your front leg. We are going to find triangle pose, so I recommend using a block placed on the outside of the front foot. Use the block for balance. Peel your front body up. Reach for the sky. We're really focusing on creating one line of energy from fingertip to fingertip and stacking shoulders on top of each other. Great work. Float the gaze down for balance. Set the block aside. Plant both palms. Step the toes back into plank. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. We're going to find puppy pose. So bring both arms all the way down to the mat. Tailbone is faced up to the sky. Focus on melting your chest as far down to the mat as possible. Really feel that elongation over the top of your back. We'll take 5 breaths here. Great work. Come up to a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under, peel the tailbone up, downward facing dog. Let's take a second to re-find our breath here. That slow and steady breath in and out through the nose. And maybe do a quick mental scan of the body and recognize any changes that may have happened since we started this practice. And when we're ready, we'll set up for that sequence on the other side. So tiptoe to the top of the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise back up. Exhale, fold. Let's do our cleansing breaths once more. So inhale, audible exhale through the nose. 2 more. And last one. Excellent work. Again, rising all the way up to standing, taking our time, one vertebrae at a time, meeting in this mountain pose. Take a second to adjust the feet. Bring your feet in, hips width distance apart. Anchor through all 4 corners of the feet, and then take a big step back with your left foot. We're coming back into Warrior One. Inhale, open up Warrior Two. Moving into Triangle. Don't forget your block. Float the gaze down for balance. Plant both palms. Step the toes back, coming back into a plank. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. We're going to find that puppy pose again, but this time let's try to play with putting a couple of blocks underneath our forearms to get deeper into our shoulders. If this is too intense for you, feel free to come back to a more traditional puppy posture. Find your breath. Great work. We can start to come out, set the blocks aside, and we will meet in a Sphinx posture on our bellies. So for a Sphinx, it's a little bit of a back bend here. You want to think about keeping your arms at a 90-degree angle, tucked in really close at your sides. Do not pinch the low back as we're finding this back bend. Really try to release any muscle that is trying to work, especially in your lower body and your glutes. We're going to take 5 breaths here. All right, great work. Let's roll all the way down onto our belly. We're coming to our back. So turn onto one side, roll over, and find a comfortable position laying on your back. I'm going to give you a second to acclimate yourself here, and then we're going to move into a laying pigeon. So both legs can bend so that your soles of your feet come to the mat. On your next inhale, raise right leg up to the sky, cross right ankle over right knee. You can either hang out here, this is perfectly fine, but if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can play with bringing your left leg up and interlacing your fingers behind the thigh. We'll be here for 5. Great work. Left sole of the feet can return to the mat. And we're going to find a little bit of a laying spinal twist. So, maintaining this figure four position with our legs, send your arms out wide to a T, and then very slowly hinge at the hips so that your right foot can come to meet the earth. The goal is to get one hip to stack on top of the other. Inhale, rise back up to center, unwind, and we will repeat that on the other side. So inhale, left foot comes up to the sky, cross left foot over right knee, either hang out here or raise the right leg, interlace the fingers behind. Holding for 5. Great work. Right foot can return to the mat. We're moving into that twist, so maintain this figure four shape with our legs. Send the arms out long to a T, and then very, very slowly rotate at the hips so that left foot can come down to the earth. Again, we're trying our best to stack one hip on top of the other. Excellent work. Inhale to unwind. Take any last and final movements that feel good for you. We're coming into Savasana, so send the legs out long, take up space with your arms, make any final adjustments that feel good. And I invite you to either soften your gaze or flutter the eyes closed. Do not worry, I will be here to guide you out when it is time. very, very slowly begin to awaken. Start to integrate some very small movements. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Slowly roll onto one side and come up to meet in a seated position. I'm going to close class today with a little bit of an affirmation. So, hands to come together in prayer, and we will say, I will work to foster a more meaningful mind and body connection, and I will acknowledge and understand the messages that my physical body is trying to send me so that I can have a more grounded and peaceful existence. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.